Hello everyone! Today's the last day of January. Oh, January feels like a drag. Is it not yet over? Anyways, for today's update, we're going to talk about the 5 recommendations of PSAC, or the Private Sector Advisory Council. Tourism sector. Who are they? Well, they're a group of business leaders and experts that are advising the President Marcos Jr., on how to improve the tourism sector in the country. And these 5 recommendations affect you guys. We're going to talk about recommendations how they're going to improve e-travel, or talk about travel tax, a tax refund program for tourists, and then e-visa. Let's just jump into it. The 5 recommendations of PSAC, some of them have already been approved. Let's start with the first one. Very exciting. The implementation of the value-added tax refund program for foreign tourists by 2024. That's next year. Ooh, this was just announced last January 29. The Communication Secretary confirms that the President has approved it. Well, somebody's getting refunds at the airport. Sana all. So this is nothing new, no? Other countries have this program as well, in which if you get a refund, tourist refund scheme allows you guys to get some of your money back, to claw back a percentage of the amount you paid for the purchase, as long as it meets the minimum spending requirement. It's an incentive to encourage tourists to increase their spending in the country. Although we are not known to be a shopping destination country, but we are aiming to be like that, maybe. So what is exactly the value-added tax system in the Philippines? Well, it's just like other countries. It applies to most goods, services, and properties. It's at 12% of the gross selling price or gross value. So the plan of the Philippine government is to allow foreigners to get their VAT refund on items that they are taking out of the country. So this is a similar system with Singapore, Japan, South Korea, Australia, about rich countries, first world countries. Tax refunds of tourists are usually applied at the airport just before you depart the country. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this. There are many questions. We don't have the details yet. All we know now is that the President has approved it. There are questions like who can claim, who are qualified for VAT refund, or how much will be the required minimum spending, or what will be the qualified stores for VAT refunds for tourists. So we don't have the details yet, but hey, this is good news. I'm sure you guys are happy with it. Aside from approving the VAT refund program for foreign tourists, the President has also approved the rollout of e-visa by 2023, by this year, prioritizing China and India. Prioritizing is the word here, guys. You may say, oh, why is it only limited to China and India? No, it's not. They're only going to prioritize China and India, but I believe it's going to be for everyone. So the rollout of this e-visa will start with Chinese and Indians. It just makes sense. A lot of them come here to the Philippines and they're visa-required nationals. So unlike most of you who are watching, you can just come in the country visa-free. These nationals cannot. They have to apply for 9A visa. I mean, that is a paper-based 9A visa application. Diba? Parang, come on, pick up the Philippines. It's a good initiative to do e-visa. Plus, a lot of corruption is involved with paper applications. Earlier, I think it was just last week or 2 weeks ago, I showed you guys about e-services.immigration.gov.ph. For those who've landed in the Philippines recently and are planning to do their first extension, you may do it online through e-services.immigration.gov.ph. I made a video about it and how to apply online. I'll put the link in the description box or in the comment section. But hey, I'll let you know once this e-visa is rolled out. This is really good news for Chinese and Indian nationals first. Moving on, the third recommendation is the removal of the One Health Pass, or requiring only one form for health, immigration, and customs. So this has already happened, no? One Health Pass has been removed since, I think, October, right? it was removed last October and it was replaced by e-arrival card. And then e-arrival card was replaced by e-travel last December 1, which is definitely an improvement. E-travel is a lot easier and has less questions, less information is being required. So that's what we're using since December 1, etravel.gov.ph. And wait, there's more. According to the Communications Secretary, private sector or PSAC is also working on a mobile app called eTravel. So currently, eTravel is only web-based. They are planning on making it an app, which would integrate all of the information on immigration, customs, health, and quarantine of travelers entering the Philippines. Quarantine of travelers? That doesn't sit well with me or with us. The only quarantine needed is unvaccinated travelers having positive test results upon arrival. They are the only people who need to quarantine. Anyways, this eTravel app says it aims to allow groups of families to input data easier. It would be a good initiative if they can allow families to just have one registration. Because right now, each traveler individually must register. So having one registration for a family or group, yeah, I think that's great. Furthermore, the database also includes tourist destinations, transport, hotel info, and traffic condition. Oh, traffic condition. Okay. Well, that's definitely an improvement. E-travel could be something that tourists might find very handy, especially if it has information how to contact the government or immigration. Furthermore, the eTravel mobile application could be deployed by February. Wait, today's the last day of January. Tomorrow? Let's see, guys. Let's see. So that's eTravel app. Meanwhile, the president says he highlights the importance of digitalization, which he says could allow tourists to fill out forms quickly while traveling. Yeah, why not? We should also cater those who cannot adapt quickly to digitalization. No? I'm hoping that there is still booths available at the airport for those who are not able to register to eTravel. Next recommendation by PSAC is the revocation of outdated advisories and loudspeaker announcements in the country's airports. Yes. When I arrived last December, I noticed there are still posters talking about Wuhan virus. Gosh, that's so 2020. That should be removed. Yeah, go ahead. And even our airport is very small. It's very crowded. We need more space. Next recommendation of PSAC is the automatic inclusion of travel tax in all airline tickets. Well, this is good news for Filipinos like me because we always have to pay taxes when we leave the country. Travel tax, okay. Pero I hope they make sure that people who are not supposed to pay the travel tax won't have to automatically pay in their tickets. Kasi there is a problem then with refunds on travel tax. It was in the news, no? Like millions of pesos of travel refunds, travel tax refunds are not being claimed. So I hope that doesn't become a problem. So with travel tax, we already know we have to pay for a Filipino citizen leaving the country. It's 1,620 pesos for economy flights. For first class, that's 2,700. If you are eligible for reduced, it's 1,350. Do I have to pay for travel tax if you're a citizen of the Philippines? Yes, but if you're a foreign tourist, you're a former Filipino, or you are a dual Filipino citizen, a permanent resident abroad who have stayed in the Philippines for less than 1 year, you are exempted. For kung more than 1 year, you have to pay. Again, kung foreign tourist, dual citizen, balikbayan, or Filipino permanent resident abroad, if you've stayed here more than 1 year, 1 year or more, you have to pay for travel tax. When I left the country last November, I'm a dual citizen who has stayed here for more than 1 year. I paid for travel tax, but no one bothered to look at my receipt. Anyways, I did the right thing. Okay. According to TIEZA, guys, if you're a permanent resident and you want to avail for the exemption, you can apply at the airport. It's at the airport. And who are exempted from travel tax, of course, OFWs. That's I mentioned earlier, Filipino permanent residents and dual Filipino citizens who stayed for less than 1 year, infants 2 years old and below. There's a very detailed info on the exemption. I won't talk about it. I'll just put the link in the description box, guys, if you want to check it out. In summary, the PCAC recommendation, value-added tax refund program for foreign tourists by 2024, e-visa by this year, but it'll start for Chinese and Indians. You will get your turn too. And then 3 is One Health Pass, that's already removed, so e-travel app. And then clearing the airport, removing outdated advisories, removing loudspeaker announcements, and lastly, automatic inclusion of travel tax in all airline tickets. So far, I'm happy with these recommendations. What do you guys think? And if you could recommend any improvement that the Philippines could do to encourage more tourists in the country, what would it be? I raise my hand. The anomalies, issues of theft at the airport. Have you heard of that story of Panlasang Pinoy is a very popular vlogger in the Philippines. He has a cooking show in the country, and he shared in his YouTube channel, on his Facebook, and all of his social media accounts his story of how some of their items, luxury items, were stolen from their luggage in Terminal 2. That doesn't paint a good picture, not just for tourists, but also even for our Filipinos. So if you want to encourage more tourists to come to our country, my gosh, remove corruption, all these issues of theft in our country. Yeah. That should be a priority. Diba? Anyways, that's all I can share about the PCAC recommendations, guys. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. I know I have been quiet for the past few days, guys. I won't be as active as I am. I'm taking a mental health break. Char. So I'll see you guys with another travel update. I'll let you know if there's any big changes. You know, you can rely on me. I will immediately update you if there's a big change. If changes that can be, no, if it's a change na hindi naman talaga masyadong kailangan you have to know immediately, I will put it off later. Anyways, I'll see you guys with our travel update. Safe travels, and God bless. Bye-bye.